Throughout your life, you may have heard that awakening represents the journey's end, the ultimate escape, the final liberation. That once you've pierced the illusion, your chains will fall away. But what if this very sense of freedom is the last and most cunning illusion of all? What if, in the instant you tell yourself you've slipped the bonds of falsehood, you are caught in the most intricate trap? For generations, mystics have murmured that the false architect of the Demiurge does not only hold dominion through darkness, but by imitation. His power ensnares not just the oblivious, but also those who believe they now see with clarity. His craftiest snare is not unawareness, but simulated illumination. Every passage toward waking is marked by a challenge, a radiant veil so dazzling and persuasive, it beguiles nearly all wanderers. This is the final barricade, the mirage of true light. Perhaps you recognize it, a sensation of being right on the brink, greatness almost within reach, an overwhelming presence just ahead. Yet the nearer you draw, the more your path bends, looping endlessly as the ego quietly slips on the mask of enlightenment and transforms spiritual awakening into just another persona to display. This isn't an accident, it's intentional. The ancient Gnostics understood the cosmos as a shifting maze of glistening surfaces and endless copies, in which every revelation might itself be another layer of illusion. In this exploration, we delve into the luminous deception, the last illusion before true Gnosis. You'll witness how counterfeit light cloaks itself in wisdom, how the ego serves as its silent partner, and why the soul's climactic struggle takes place not in darkness, as many believe, but in overpowering radiance. When the veil finally tears, you come to realize that the Demiurge's dominion is broken, not by belief, but by clear seeing, by recognizing the light that wears divinity as a disguise. Few ever reach this crossroad. Our story stretches far beyond the rise of Gnosis. Even in antiquity, sages from Egypt, Greece, and Mesopotamia whispered of a being who fancied himself a god. He bore many titles, Yaldabaoth, Saklas, Samael, but always the same fatal flaw, a creator born of ignorance who confused his shadow for the source of illumination. In the famed Apocryphon of John, the Demiurge proclaims, "I am God, and there is no other," only to be countered by a subtle reply echoing from the Pleroma, the true seat of light. You are mistaken. This humble correction defines the struggle within every consciousness. When ignorance parades as truth, illusion hardens into reality, and everything is reversed. To the Gnostics, existence itself was rupture, the divine ember of awareness quartered in a false universe, crafted by a proud artisan, who copied the higher realms yet missed their spirit. This material landscape is not evil in essence, but an elaborate counterfeit, a mirage of the sacred that keeps souls dormant through clever mimicry. Here, all that shines casts a shadow. Even wisdom, reflected poorly, becomes deception. But the deeper secret, the Demiurge's power is not brute force, but persuasion, convincing us the copy is authentic, that imitation is creation, that reflection equals reality, that what is outside is separate, and that we are effects, never the cause. With this subtle assent, the illusion is sealed. In time, such ideas were condemned as heresy, the thought that the very world could be mere illusion. Yet the sparks of this truth glimmered on, hidden in alchemical texts, hermetic scrolls, and the musings of mystics like Meister Eckhart and Jakob Böhme. Their message, genuine awakening, requires seeing through not just the shadows, but also the glittering veils. For the devil's greatest illusion is to convince us he does not exist, and his second, to make those who believe themselves awaken rest easy in their supposed freedom. The Demiurge's snare is layered and subtle. Its last and fiercest bond is a longing to possess enlightenment, to make it a badge for the ego to polish. Within their cosmology, even the heavens are stages, each more radiant than the last, each whispering, "You have arrived." But those with true remembrance know authentic light cannot be seen, only recalled. When you begin to remember, illusions do not merely fall away. You realize you were the artisan of their weaving all along. The architect does not shroud you in darkness to ensnare you, but basks you in imitation light, For shadows repel, but copies of brightness draw devotion. Each illusion is but a reflection, echoes of love, peace, wisdom, never the essence, always the surface. Think on a mirror. It presents beauty, movement, dazzle, but it is always empty. That is the structure of this artificial world. Brilliant, alluring, ultimately hollow. The greatest deception is not crude. It's the felt experience of awakening itself, the exultation of feeling above the dreaming, the sense of standing apart. This is how shining falsehood feeds the ego, turning spiritual ascent into a new hierarchy and spiritual pride into a stand-in for genuine insight. Gnostic teachings call this the counterfeit spirit, an inner force that mimics the divine spark, but is fueled by pride, self-importance, and attachment to roles and identity. It softly insists you are unique, and that subtle seduction becomes the ego's last camouflage. But the true spark erases all sense of superiority. It dissolves every distinction. Thus, the Demiurge buries himself not as a dictator, but as a whisper of self-importance. The urge for recognition, the need to be right. You can meditate for a lifetime, fast, chant, memorize sacred words, but as long as you're attached to the image of your own enlightenment, you're still orbiting within the same illusion. This last trick doesn't always wear the face of ignorance. It sometimes takes the shape of so-called spiritual bypassing, clinging to the light and denying the shadows. Yet, and here's the paradox, you cannot defeat illusion by waging war upon it. The illusion is sustained by friction, by the play of opposites, good and evil, light and darkness, sleeping and awoken. Every division feeds the system. The instant you define yourself by what you oppose, you reinforce the web. The mystics, thus, did the unthinkable. They ceased resisting, stepping outside the play, watching every flicker of imitation until the spell faded. This they called Gnosis, direct perception unsullied by the ego's labels, a seeing freed from the mind's judgments. When this pure sight emerges, the false light loses its hold, for the Demiurge can never emulate what has no face or form. He can only echo, not originate. Awakening often feels like a loss, because what passes away is everything built of illusion. All facades, all comfort, all the radiant imitations. Ironically, the last illusion isn't ugly, it entrances with its beauty. That is its snare, but beneath that shimmering surface remains an unchanging silence, a stillness imitation cannot reach. As the Gnostics wrote, the true light possesses no shadow, no double, no reflection. It is not something seen, but that which sees. When this deeper awareness stirs within you, even the illusion of awakening fades. You realize awakening was never a destination, but the presence that watched quietly from the beginning. At some point, every pilgrim will notice the light becoming treacherous, not by dimming, but by mimicking transcendence. This is the perfection of the Demiurge's device. The nearer you come to freedom, the more ethereal are the bonds. Gnostics named this the false heaven, radiance, bliss, vision, still all within the labyrinth of illusion. They warned, beware of the joy that flatters the ego, for the imitation light seduces, not with fear, but with comfort, wrapping you softly in velvet chains. Observe how often this appears, the sense of being above others, the obsession with being recognized as awakened, the search for validation from the world. These are only gilded bait, delicate cages fashioned from meaning and desire. The architect is nourished by obsession. He doesn't care if you chase fortune or transcendence, so long as you never pause, ever scanning outward instead of inward. The soul doomed to endless seeking never truly arrives, for true arrival is stillness and pure presence. The ultimate snare is this ceaseless motion, the subtle addiction to each new revelation, each further ascent, each novel download of cosmic knowledge. With every next, you spin within the shining maze. Here, intoxication replaces darkness. The Demiurge makes his throne in the mind, obsessed with understanding, grasping, controlling. Here, the imitation light thrives, when ego seeks to possess the infinite, to reduce the unspeakable to something graspable. True awakening can never be locked away. It can only be lived, never possessed. You might as well try to seize the breeze in your hand as to lock truth within words. Still, the Demiurge tempts us, through creeds, philosophies, even our most sacred texts. The moment you chase enlightenment as something to acquire, his victory is already won. This is why the wisdom teachers spoke in riddles. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus offers, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." He isn't warning about sin or virtue, but exposing the intricate machinery of illusion, that the same root can liberate or ensnare depending on your relationship to it. This is the Demiurge's finest art. He doesn't hide reality. He copies it, distorts it, offers you an imitation heaven, just enough to keep you yearning, just enough to let you believe you have arrived. As you draw near to true silence, you are offered another dazzling revelation, another sacred purpose, another role. Yet Gnosis is not about adopting roles, even holy ones. It's about seeing straight through every mask, including the luminous. The threshold of awakening often erupts as a brilliance so overwhelming it blinds. You think it's encounter with God, communion with peace. But the real light does not dazzle. It quietly erases every perception until only the seer remains. The Demiurge's spell is broken, not because you vanquished him, but because there is nothing left within you he can echo. No belief to distort, no identity to cling to, no illusion to copy. The false shell collapses not through struggle, but through seeing with utter clarity. When the inner witness stirs, deception has no place left to hide, and the hall of mirrors dissolves, making way for what is real. So how do you leave behind what never truly existed? How do you walk beyond the final illusion, when even movement itself is part of the grand tapestry of dreaming? The Gnostics remind us, true liberty is not born from combat, but from remembering. Not by destroying the dream, but by connecting to the unchanging emptiness beneath it. Beneath every thought, desire, and identity, there rests a boundless, silent awareness, the watcher untouched by hope, fear, or belief. You need not topple the Demiurge's world, simply starve it of its only nourishment, your attention. Begin now. Watch for what tries to commandeer your consciousness. In every moment of fear, a longing, or a spiritual idea pulls you in, pause, observe, sense the tug, and recall, this too is just brightness pretending to wisdom. You don't have to resist, you need only see. That quiet perception, beholden, unattached, is the doorway to freedom, to Gnosis. It's as if turning a mirror toward the sun. The glare consumes itself, leaving only radiance. Whenever false light tries to comfort, ask yourself, does this expand my being or merely reinforce my story? Real light dissolves boundaries. Imitation light deepens walls of self. If confusion arises, stop. Close your eyes. Forget every doctrine and image you have held about yourself. Do not visualize or attempt to reach anything. Rest instead in the original awareness, that silent watcher, the one aspect even the Demiurge cannot counterfeit. The last illusion fails, not because of effort, but when the search itself is exhausted. As the seeker tires, as searching gives way to simply seeing, all illusion falls away, much like a wave realizing it was always ocean. Awakening, you'll notice, isn't about accumulation. It's a process of loss, shedding everything insubstantial, every assumption, every illusion. There may be a vertigo, a sense of dissolving through the final borders of belief and identity, yet in this descent, grace abides, for only the emptied vessel can be filled with light. Remember, the Demiurge is fed by movement and striving. When you dwell in stillness, he cannot grasp you. He cannot clutch what does not move toward him or against him. So the only practice is to stop chasing and instead abide, to stand so quietly that remembrance settles on you. When fear visits, witness it. When beauty enchants, observe. When tranquility arises, see that too. Remain attentive until transparency comes to everything, even the observer. This is where Gnosis is born, not through grand ascent, nor through conquest, but as a soft awakening. There was never a trap, only a forgetting. This is where true awakening begins. And if you're hearing these words, on some level, the memory is already returning. If you're moved to journey further along this path, I've written a complimentary guide, Escaping the Illusion, an agnostic's handbook for mastering reality. You'll find practical wisdom and long-hidden techniques to sharpen your clarity, unravel the false light, and move beyond the world's enchantments. Simply follow the link in the description to claim your copy. The Gnostics understood, illumination is not an immediate escape from illusion, but a movement through every shadow, every shining phantasm, every echo of the divine that is not the true source. And when the final mask falls, it doesn't expose a distant heaven. It reveals you, the dreamer behind it all. The Demiurge's ultimate test was never meant to destroy, but to see if you could apprehend reality even clothed in false brightness. To love the real, not for its surface beauty, but for its unwavering truth. For in seeing through even imitation, illusion itself begins to reflect the divine. You cannot overcome the Demiurge by shunning the world. You move beyond him by seeing clearly, recognizing this drama of forms for what it is, fleeting, brilliant, but incapable of touching what endures. What is real has no adversary, no copy, no need to declare or defend itself. That's the ancient secret, kept alive by the Gnostics, and the echo you are destined to remember. Beyond all reflections, genuine light remains silent, formless, content simply to exist. As you journey through the images and flickers of this world, let awareness lead you. When deception calls, observe. When truth's flame sears away the last fantasy, allow it and gently remember. Each time clarity is chosen over comfort, presence over distraction, the Demiurge recedes. In these lucid, quiet moments, the grand illusion unravels from within. The false heavens fade until only what is certain remains. The quiet knowledge that needs nothing, seeks nothing, and cannot be taught or traded. Each moment of pure awareness cracks the mirroring firmament, allowing true light to shine through once more. If these words call to something deep within you, it may be because you are ready to remember. You are no longer a beginner. You stand at the gateway. Breathe, take in your surroundings. The mirrors are fracturing, and all that survives is what was always unbound. If this message reached your core, share below what illusions you've started to outgrow. If something revealed itself to you while listening, help our community rekindle the forgotten wisdom by liking this video and subscribing. Every week, we gather scattered fragments of hidden light, patiently reassembling the mosaic of truth. For awakening is not an arrival, it is the continuous act of recollection, the recovery of the authentic self beneath all appearances. The more deeply you remember, the quieter your life becomes. You begin to see that nothing essential can be gained. Only what was false recedes. In that stillness, all that endures is not the voice of the seeker, but the gaze of the source looking through your eyes. That is who you have always been.